So Aaron, what do you think about karate combat? This new wave that we've been seeing coming around the last couple weeks. Best Rubin's the commentator.
I don't really think about it that much.
Well, according to our 2-hour discussion that we just had.
Well, I mean, it's cool and all, but it's just like heavy point sparring karate. I mean, it's full contact. Full contact karate's always existed.
Well, let's talk about the benefits first, and then let's break down any gripes we have about that.
Benefits.
I think it shows better timing and distance management compared to when you don't have to worry about like somebody trying to double leg you or something, right?
Yeah,
although
well,
you kind of are.
I mean, it allows for the striking aspect of karate to become like, it's better exemplified, I guess. Like more, I guess, technical aspects of striking can kind of come out.
Yeah.
But
and I know there's limits to what you can do for a strike, apparently. Like no leg kicks, stuff like that.
I mean, it would probably lend itself better to be like, you could do like more jumping, spinning hook kicks, right? You know, because you don't have to worry about somebody rushing from a single kind of a deal. I mean, aside from that, it just doesn't look.
There's no elbows.
Yeah, there's no elbows.
No small joint manipulation.
Yeah, it's still not actual. Like, I mean,
you're not using the kata themselves, right?
Yeah, well, since there's no grappling, that takes off like a whole, like, the majority of what karate, in our opinion, was, right? So I mean, that takes away that from it. So then it just kind of, like, to me, it doesn't look a lot different from like stuff that we've seen. Like, I mean, there was continuous sparring. That stuff used to exist, like in certain realms. You just kept going at it.
Yeah.
Till somebody got knocked out, or they called like whatever, some kind of point accumulation
after duration.
Yeah, I mean, some of that's existed. It's just, you know, it kind of reminds me of those, like I said before, like those 80s movies where it's like super rich people like throwing bets. No, like that's what it looks like. There was like an old Jean-Claude
like a cockfight, right?
Yeah, like a Jean-Claude Van Damme film where it's like, you know, it's like the guy, like the no good dude who comes in, he's like karate, fights like in this underground ring.
Yeah.
And it's like even made like in that way to like look like that ring with like spectators like that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of funny.
It's dug into the ground.
Yeah, I mean it looks like fun. Like it looks like fun. But I wouldn't go to say like it's a better example of karate itself. I would say it's maybe a better example of like striking or point-oriented karate versus like karate as a whole. Then like fine.
Why do you think it came about now at this time when the Olympics are about to come out 2020? That's like straight up point sparring. MMA is rising, Bellator is coming up too, and that has ground fighting and everything. But like, why would they push this now compared to any other time? And with karate, which like seems to be going downward anyways, like people don't really respect the combative side of karate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be seen as like some kind of pushback for that. I mean, you have like this whole like untapped market of people who technically do a martial arts skill, but aren't using it in any marketable way, right? Like you have like the WKF and stuff like that, the JKA, right. And like the rest of the world like generally doesn't know anything about it. So you have all these people who compete in a thing that are just like very secular, right?
Amateur wrestling going to WWE,
yeah, you know,
having an outlet to go in.
Yeah, so you don't have any way for it to be used to make money. Right. So then it's like, hey, like we have all these people who are trained in this skill. Let's find a way to like give that more light. So you have to zazz it up. You know, let them actually fight, and then that provides. You know, it just gets more people. People want to see blood. People want to see people knock each other out, right? So people don't really want to pay to see some guy pull a punch. No, that's not going to happen. You know, like somebody got smart and they were like, hey, this is something we could actually market to crowds and get people sponsorship, all this kind of stuff. You know? But yeah, I wouldn't say it's representative of karate as a whole. I mean, that's always been our gripe about karate, right? Was that like it became like just seen as like a striking entity only.
I wonder if there's a way to create like you know, in HEMA, everyone's wearing like full gear.
Yeah.
Like if we had like a kata-based sparring tournament or organization that was like that.
So, yeah, there's a compression suit.
Yeah.
There's like those compression suit that's padded, that has like a padded armor. It's like super high tech. It looks like you're wearing like a neoprene suit, but it has like, and apparently according to the test, it takes impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's stuff you could wear that would protect you and allow you to go like, from what I saw, pretty all out. But that stuff is expensive. It's like really. Last time I saw that stuff was like a couple of years back when they were still like in development and stuff like that.
I remember they were doing that weapon sparring thing last year or something. It never really took off, but they were wearing those suits too that allowed mobility.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but it's still not, I don't know. It's that whole like weird.
So then, do you think karate should have a form of entertainment that showcases everyone's work, right? You train for 50 years with the idea of you shouldn't use what you train for because it's supposed to be a pathway towards peace and blah blah blah. But what about those people who express their devotion to martial arts through competition?
Through competition? Well, I think it's fine. Like, yeah, there should be some kind of avenue, I guess. I think the main problem I have with that stuff is that people just need to keep stuff in perspective, right? Like I have no problem with people doing kata. I have no problem with people doing weapons forms, katas, or even point sparring, or wrestling, or the combat. But I think the idea of people doing that and then saying like, well, he's the best fighter ever.
Putting a blanket.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just settle down. Like, it's one part of like the whole entire thing, right? Like, you don't go to a guy who shoots like competition shooting or competition archery and then say like in any kind of like firefight they would be the best, right? Because there's so many other variables there, right? So
it's one skill of many skills you have to develop.
Yeah, so I think if you can do all that stuff, and I think it's good to have all those different things for people who maybe don't want to get their faces bloodied, to do something else that expresses the art in that way. But there doesn't need to be like why people have to be crappy to each other and detract from that in order to make their things work better. Yeah, it's just
once you find something that you think nobody else knows of, then you become like the marketer of that thing.
Yeah,
it becomes yours.
It's just super funny because you don't have to be a jerk about it. Like, there's no reason to be a jerk about it. You know, it's like the people who are the best at, who are actually the best, or the people who are really good at stuff, are sometimes people you never hear about. Like, I knew there were guys who would fight for money in Mexico that I knew when I was growing up. And those were really like not good things.
Right.
But nobody knows about them. Nobody knows where that stuff happened. Yeah. You know, kind of a deal. But nobody's going to go around telling, you know, it's never going to be publicized that, you know, well, yeah, this guy nearly murdered, you know, however many people in a dark alleyway, you know, like, oh, so he's awesome. Like, number one, why is that awesome? Right. You're idolizing brutality and violence, and like we're supposed to be higher order level thinking creatures, right? You know, so it's like, I don't know, like,
That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Back to
whole can of worms.
combat karate.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like fun. I just, it's just not all karate is. And I think people need to keep that in mind. Right? It's karate. It's one aspect of karate. It's one wheel of karate, right? Like how they would say, just like weapons is, just like the forms, just like the wrestling and stuff. So, meh.
Alright, so we're drilling reactions off the break. So what that means is this is the clinch range. And then if we disengage from the clinch, the first one to move, or the first one to do an action usually is the one that gets the advantage or takes over the dynamic of the fight. So generally what you see is people clinch, something happens, they break, and then they re-clinch again or they re-engage. So then at that break, the first one to react, that's why we call it reactions off the break, usually gets the advantage. So we're just gonna work on trying to take each other down, pushing, pulling. I'm the one that's gonna disengage, and then right after the disengage, yeah, you throw a strike or you throw a kick. It's up to you. Let's make it a little more structured. Let's just throw a roundhouse to the thigh, and we'll get a little hard body conditioning with that too. So I'm gonna be here. I'm the one that engages or initiates the break. So everything else is normal. I push off, he throws. Now you can imagine doing that for any other striker technique, right? I push off, he throws a punch, he pushes off and he throws, so now it becomes he initiates the push and also he's the attacker. So for example, from here you initiate the break and you throw the strike. And also a good drill for me as a defender to always have my hands up right after the break. Because a lot of people get caught like this. So if I break and he keeps his hands down, people throw this on top all the time. We actually saw it in a fight last night in Ryzen. They're doing their blah blah blah. The guy pushed off and he just caught that over the top. So right after you disengage, always try to block or react with the strike.
Found my hat.
Oh, nice.
It's in my bedroom, my boudoir.
How does it feel to finally be living in the Texas Hill Country?
It's always been a dream of mine. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's just better than the valley. That's all I can say. The valley's okay, but there's like hills here, hence the name Hill Country. It's good. So it's good. It's good. I feel like I belong here.
Hi. What are we doing tonight?
We're doing a front squat, overhead press, close grip bench press, goblet squat, and then a core exercise.
So when are you moving out?
It's cool, man. We're only ramping up to like 200 plus pounds on the squat, and then
overhead press only at like maybe up to like 160 or something. But we're doing push presses. We're not doing
Okay.
strict presses, so it's kind of whatever.
Warm up weight.
Yeah, so this is what we're gonna do because I found this one in T Nation. I kind of like the way this guy was doing it. So we ramp up using moderate weight, like just basically warm up to the work weight. We do 2 sets at that, and then we're gonna do the last set is the real work set, and we do basically rest pause. So we do like 2 to 4 reps, then you rest like 15 seconds, and then you do maybe like 2 or 3 more, and you rest another 15 seconds, and you try to squeeze out another 1 or 2, and that's it. So your work sets are going to be like 70, 80%, and then we're going to tack on like another 5, 10% on top of that, and that's your last step. So,
Alright.
so yeah, pretty easy.